Hey you, this is Intimidating Scones. Welcome back to WildStar. Starting to feel like I'm getting the hang of this game. I die a lot, but I feel like it's more because this game is really hard than because I'm really bad at it. And my friend Kay that got me started playing this kind of confirmed that this game is really, oh, that was bad. Really, really rough. Oh dear, no. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Oh no. Oh, I managed to survive. I did not manage to survive. Was I standing in the fire? Oh, screw it. I don't want to run back here. Anyway. So, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to talk about this time round. I was thinking about it for a long time, and then on my way home from work today, my day job, I actually thought of something kind of interesting. So, people say things like, you know, why are you not coming after me? Okay, no, that's not what people say. People say things like, you need to learn to control your anger. And that's because even though people have every right to feel however they feel, they also have a responsibility to... Oh my goodness, why are you not dead? They also have a responsibility not to hurt the people around them with their emotions. You know, if you're angry, that's fine, that's valid, but you can't just spew that anger on everyone else, because I also really feel that I call it emotional entropy, because if you're having a bad day and you're angry, it's easy to upset someone else and suddenly they're having a bad day too. However, if you're having a good day, it's actually a whole lot harder to change someone from having a bad day to having a good day. So it's like oh dear, the natural order, oh no, of the universe is towards misery, which is a really sad prospect.
Oh, what a surprise.
If someone wants to
It's you
put in the
again.
comments why I die so much, I should probably just read a guide on this game. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, I'm open to them, because I die a lot. I wonder if I'm in an area I'm not supposed to be in. Like, should I be grinding levels or something? Anyway, so emotional entropy. It is a lot harder to make someone happy than it is to upset them. And if you want, you know, the overall, you know, net happiness of the universe to go up, then that takes a lot more effort than making it, you know, go down. And bam. I waited a little long on that, but that's okay. So, okay, apparently I can't harvest that. But something that I was thinking about was that why do we only say, yeah, it might help if I roll the right way. Why do we only say things like control your anger, or you need to learn to control your anger, when there's a lot of other emotions that can cause a lot of pain in the people around you? I think the one I was thinking of, and it's really the best example I can think of, is fear. Now, I have been through some really terrible things, and what made it so difficult to bear was that I had to go through them alone. Yeah, there were people that came in and out of my life willing to help a little bit, but there was no one that stood by me through the whole thing. And there were very few people that actually even responded at all compassionately to me. And the entire reason, it took me years to figure out the reason. The entire reason was fear. But what I was going through was so terrifying to them that they reacted very harshly to it. And oftentimes that reaction was aimed at me and served to make a difficult time worse. And like, for example, they were so scared of what I was going through that they wanted to believe that it was something I had done wrong, because that protected them. You know, if they could believe they weren't as stupid as me, or that they were, you know, luckier than me, that something they were doing in their life was different, that protected them. Of course, they said it in ways that blamed me for something that just was not my fault, not even remotely. But that made me feel very, very lonely, and in the end caused me to be very, very alone. And while I completely feel that fear, that these people had every right to feel that fear. Did I kill it? I must have killed it. I must have killed it while I was, I had misplaced my hands on my keyboard and was pressing the wrong buttons. That's another thing that might help, you know, help me do better at this game, is if I, actually managed to get a better, mental feel of where my hand needs to be to get the combos going. Because honestly, the rolling, I'm used to okay, I'm used to just having my hand on the keyboard, on the numbers, rather than also needing to be moving around a lot, because I'm very used to playing, you know, a mage in WoW, where you find a good spot to cast from and you stick there. Or even more stationary would be a wizard in Ragnarok, where the whole party used to be centered around keeping things off of the nukers. Um, so while I feel like people are completely valid for feeling fear, especially since that was the main emotion I was feeling, I was terrified. I was terrified and miserable. Mm-hmm. Okay. Somewhere that way. This place is very confusing. Let's see if there's something closer to me. So I would never blame someone for, such obvious emotions. But the way they reacted, it really does make me think, come on, control your fear. And part of that reason is I spent so much of my time needing comfort, and then having to comfort the people I went to. And needing understanding and having to protect myself from people refusing to understand what I was going through. We talk about courage and that it is an incredible virtue, but we talk about it almost like it's the thing of stories. That it's something that only happens in fairy tales. That you have to be a knight with training. Or that those are the only people we would expect it from. But I think that to some degree, just like learning to not throw tantrums as a kid is part of growing up, learning not to attack people with your own fear is also part of being an adult. And I think it's something that a lot of us forget to address while becoming an adult, while growing up. I talked to my sister recently about what I went through and her view on it. And she believed that people who have been through what I've been through, in her words, never recover from it. I was hurt and terrified by that assertion, by that belief of hers. But I asked her why. Before I shouted at her, "How could you say such a thing? How could you think such a thing?" I first asked her why. And it turns out that she believes that what I've been through causes a particular knowledge in people that you will always have. A particular knowledge of humans and the way we are, the way the world is, that will stick with me for the rest of my life. And I thought about that. And I found that interesting that she thought that was a flaw. that was something to recover from, like the flu is something to recover from. Hello? Oh, I must have run out of charge. Waited too long to use it. Okay. Well, I located a lair.
Achievement granted.
Dungeon discovery. Okay, oh, this is what they were talking about. Kay was telling me that dungeons, you can't just queue for a dungeon. You actually have to go find the dungeon. So apparently I had a quest to actually find that dungeon. That's pretty cool. Kay is kind of a shy person. Some things he's really comfortable doing in front of other people, and, you know, having other people be a part of, ooh, falling, and other things not so much, and it's really hard to tell. But with that said, I hope Kay will play with us sometime, and you can talk to him a little bit, or, you know, listen to him a little bit. Maybe I can get him on Twitch. We'll know. We'll you never know. We'll see. So, one of the things I was thinking about with my sister was that she considered, in her words, a knowledge of evil. Knowledge that certain things exist in the human race. And that because I will never be able to forget that, because that is something I know and something I've experienced, it will forever be a part of my life. And I agree with her that yes, what I've been through has shaped me as a person. And no, I won't say I'm better for it, because I can think of a million ways on how I am not. However, I don't think I'm worse for it. I think better or worse is such, in this case, very poorly subjective words, because in the ways that I'm better, it has to be measured differently than the ways I'm worse. And part of that is because the ways I'm better are the ways I've made myself better despite my experiences in my past and what people have basically screwed me over with. And you know, that loneliness I was talking about, how people reacted angrily to something that I didn't do. You know, it's just a fact of life that, you know, this is the cards I was dealt. And I feel like I'm better for learning how to forgive people for that. And I think I'm better for the fact that, and I don't mean better than other people, I just mean better than I was beforehand. That I have become myself a better person because I have learned how to deal with these sad parts of my life. And that can bring at least comfort, if not joy. Let's see, and this one's saying, this is where I was before. Clearly not the right place. This is complete. I located it. Was I supposed to go in, I wonder? Oh well. I'm gonna go back to this area. So, but I feel like that's almost like saying I'm better for learning a martial art because now I can protect myself from people who can't control their anger. Yes, that is self-betterment. And that didn't it just... Did I? Alright. Sure. So, while yes, I would say that some form of ability to protect oneself against physical harm is something that everyone could benefit from. However, that does not excuse the fact that people should not be inflicting physical harm in the first place. So while yes, I am able to understand and forgive people who throw around blame a little too readily, where? Oh. This is why maps. This is why maps. I still feel like people need to learn to control their fear as much as we have learned to control our anger. And it's difficult. It is a difficult thing to ask of people. But then again, so is asking them to learn to control their fear. Or, so is asking them to learn to control their anger. Uh-huh. Aren't I supposed to... No, you're not the mayor. Who's the mayor? Not here, clearly. Okay. I'm just running around in circles because this place is really confusing. So, I bet it's in that... It's on the other side of that door. You know, I wonder if I get up there, if I can find it. It was up there at the beginning of the video. I can't see a thing. There we go. It's a lot harder to control my jumps when I'm on my mount. So, I fell down. I feel that, no, I feel that I'm gonna die if I stay here. Run away. Oh, okay. You know what? No, because... Oh dear, because I've still got one chasing me and I'm half dead. Things that people go through, some of the things that are part of our lives, are part of the human experience. And no, it's not things everyone goes through, but enough of us that it matters. They are so harsh and so sad that people shouldn't even have to go through them. But when we react with anger and fear and blame, we're not only forcing those people to go through those things, we're forcing them to go through it alone. And can you just imagine something in the world that nobody should have to deal with, and then they have to deal with it alone? If you're listening to this and you're saying, yes, I can, I've been there, I am so sorry. And I probably have no idea what you've been through, because most of this stuff is so personal to each particular person, so personal to each particular experience. Just, it's not something we should do to people. You know, if you can't help someone genuinely because, say, your life is too difficult right now, that's different. But if you decide that you don't want to help someone simply because you are too terrified of what they're going through, it's not acceptable. That is just as much of a problem as it's as much of a problem as being unable to control your anger, that
What's your situation? Fine now.
it ends up seeming childish. I think we're better than that. I think as a human race we're better than that, and I actually have faith in every single person that is hearing this right now. That you've probably had experiences where you have been willing to face something scary because someone you loved was facing it too. And I'm sure you have been in a situation where you didn't want to face something alone, that just having someone there saying, I'll stand by you, made it so much easier. I think because we all have those experiences, when things get scarier, seriously, it seems like it's showing me in circles. When things get scarier, when things get worse, remember just to have courage for that person and with that person. And remember what it felt like beforehand. What? I am so confused on what I'm supposed to be doing and where I'm supposed to be going, and it's not okay. Okay. I think part of the problem is that I'm sort of halfway between areas. Anyway, for those of you who have that courage, thank you. Thank you for all the people that you have helped. And it may seem like so little that if you can't solve someone's problem, you almost feel like a failure, but it's not true. just being willing to not run away from a problem, to stand with someone having a problem, whatever that may be, oh, it makes all the difference. For those of you who are going through something alone, hang in there. And don't be afraid to search out the people
Got news for me, friend?
who are willing to help. They're few and far between. But when you find them,
You sure
makes
settled
all the
that
difference.
mystery, friend.
And really, it takes very few people. The majority can snub you. And then once one is like, yeah, sure, I'll help you out. That's all you need. So don't give up. Not yet. You're not allowed. And for those of you who are afraid and have seen problems that they could not face, but have listened to me today, it's not too late, because I have watched so many people change their minds and come back like from the dead and decide that they aren't going to be afraid anymore, that they aren't going to let something control them anymore, that they are going to be in control, that they are going to make what needs to happen happen. And you're the ones I respect the most. I think having courage is difficult, but for someone that it comes naturally to, that's not as big of a pain. It's not as much heartache as someone who it doesn't come naturally to, but is willing to face those fears anyway, and is determined to conquer no matter what. And that is incredible. And it's people like you that made it easier for me to forgive. Because why stay angry at people who can change? Why stay angry at people who won't necessarily hurt me my entire life? I have to give people the chance to be different. We all should. I want people to give me that chance. I'm not the same person I was 7 years ago. I have been multiple people between that young person and who I've grown into now. So, though it seems ridiculous to tell someone to not be afraid of being afraid, it's basically what I want to say. I guess it's better to just say, have courage. Alright, well, thanks for hanging out with me today. Hope you enjoyed it.